Cassius Clay Production.
This one has been very tough for me. With just the recent activities of what has happened in the country, it really took a toll on me.
So when black men go through emotions, we tend to replace sadness with anger. So I would say I went through a combination of sadness and anger at the same time. But I also went through fear, because I know that, in those situations, we could talk about what we would do if we were in situations like, you see the Facebook revolutionaries saying, oh, if I was in that situation, I'll shoot back, or I do this, I do that. And I think that when you're in a situation of terrorism, it's just that, it's terror. And to be in a situation where you feel like you don't have choices, or you don't have a way out, it's fearful. And so I felt a lot of fear.
I was desensitized to it because I've seen it my whole life. It was just like, instead of being like, oh my God, they just killed another black man, it was just, oh man, they another black guy. But it wasn't no super reaction like, oh my God, I need to do something about this. It was just like, it happens, that's what it is. And it's sad that it is that, because I can't feel comfortable doing anything while being black nowadays. Like, my mom wanted to go on a walk, like maybe 2 or 3 days afterwards, and I was like, you want to go on a walk around the neighborhood? I had to go, because she was on a walk regardless if I went with her or not. So I had to go, but it made me extremely uncomfortable just to walk around my own neighborhood that I live in. I don't know these people, I don't know their intentions, I don't know who lives here, I don't know how you feel about me. As you being a white person, me being a black person, I can't decide how you feel about me. So seeing those was more so just, it happens to me. It wasn't really like that's crazy that they did that, because it's so normal now. It wasn't anything crazy to me. It was just, it happens. We got to do something about it, but we already tried doing something about it, didn't work. So what do we do now? And then, protesting and all the petitions and all the donating, it's just like, yeah, I can go do that, but what is that? It hasn't helped anything. It really hasn't done anything to help me or help any other black person. It has helped, some black people get out of jail, be, financially stable around these times, but it really hasn't done anything. The people that did it are free. These people that have committed these crimes and killed these people are free, walking around. They getting bail when they did get arrested. So what did we do all of this? That's how I see it as. What was the point of all this protesting if they're gonna get free? And honestly, it makes me mad, because if I were to kill somebody, I would just go to jail. People act like these cops are exempt from murder. It really doesn't make sense. It just causes it's more frustrating than anything, because it doesn't make any sense. Like, how can you say that these people don't deserve to be in jail when they just killed somebody for no reason? Not even killing him for no reason. You heard him say he can't breathe, and then you killed him. You continue to hurt him. How can you say that this person that killed this person for jogging, walking around, and then justify not putting him in jail? It makes no sense. Because what if that was me? That could be me. So it's frustrating to think that I have to watch my back everywhere I go. Even when I'm just driving in my car, if I see a policeman, I'm automatically stiff. It's frustrating to have to walk around in life and have some sort of guard up or some sort of protective shield mentally prepared to, either if I get stopped by this cop, I can die. If I meet this white person, they could hate me low key and try to kill me. They could act like they're my friend and try to kill me. it's frustrating to have to live your life not in constant fear, but in constant protection from everybody else that's not black.
I felt like, here we go again. And I felt like this ain't gonna never stop, be honest with you. And I know I'm probably speaking for almost half of the men, or maybe more than all the men probably, you know, black men. We all felt like, because it's like, man, we seen it firsthand. We see it. Like, you did what I'm saying? So then you see it. Like, we seen Rodney King back in the day. You go even further back, but like these things I seen as a kid, and it kept going and kept going, Eric Garner, all these type of things. And then you see this and you like, man, yeah, I'm fed up with it, and you mad and you get tired, but you can't be tired because you got to keep fighting. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you sitting there thinking like, man, here we go again, and I got to be mad all day, and I got to be mad. And you know you gonna be mad forever. But America get over it after a while. So then it's like that's why we got to keep the movement going. You got to keep and really focus in on the moment, and not let the moment just be a fad. Because see, one thing I just figured out about this world is everything is trending. What happens is you'll have all this stuff happen, because we had this happen about a couple years ago.
And you're right, it's happened so much. But I think for whatever reason, like so many other people, this latest George Floyd murder, I don't know, that hit me on the inside. I can't really explain it, but it's just like, okay, damn. And again, you know, it's one of those things, you see a grown man calling for his mom, you know, that does something to you. And so I guess the way I've been feeling is, number one, I've been on alert much more, being much more aware of my surroundings. And I just want to do my part in changing the mindset and change all of the nonsense that's been going on. And so I've been pretty hopeful, because America is making changes, and they're showing that, regardless if it's for the dollar to save face. You know, the reality is there's effort that's being shown. So I do remain hopeful, but at the same time, you know, I'm always on alert, because the reality is that could be me. That could be my nephew, you know? And yeah, I don't know. I like peace. Yeah, I just keep saying it, you know, and I know it'll probably never happen in my lifetime, but I just like for everybody to be treated fairly. I could give a crap about your gender or your sex. I just want everybody to be treated fairly. I know that's not going to happen, but, you know, I'm always hopeful, because that's all we can hold on to at the end of the day, is that things are going to change. And it's unfortunate that to get the attention of the powers that be, that you got to burn down a Wendy's, you know, you got to burn everything down, you know, to take a Confederate flag down, or, you know, or these statues that are named after white supremacists. And, you know, but again, at least people are starting to move. My hope is that people don't change and people don't stop, and it doesn't become so watered down like so many other issues in the past. You know, it goes strong for a month or two, and then it just fizzes out until the next thing happens. And so hopefully, I just hope, you know, specifically this George Floyd incident, you know, I just hope it keeps people hopeful. I mean, that's how I feel, is that, you know, we won't have to worry about our babies going out and being hanged, you know.
And it was happening back to back, just like this. And then what happened is something else came up, and we kind of forgot about Sandra Bland and all that. You did what I'm saying? You people, I seen so much of Trayvon back then, and I seen no more Trayvon now until now. Now people bringing his name back up. That's our problem. We don't never stay focused on the bigger issue and focus on it. So I felt like, man, here we go again, and watch everybody gonna talk about it. Everybody gonna hashtag Black Lives Matter, and then like a couple months from now, they'll be talking about another wave of the COVID. See, it's our job to keep it going, like platforms like this, to keep this stuff going and keep it in people's head and in their eyes, because this world is so trendy, it's out of sight, out of mind. You don't keep it going. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I felt. I felt like, man, I'm just tired of it because I already know if we don't stay with it, it's gonna be continuously going, and I'm gonna have to see somebody that I might know one day, or maybe me.
So over these last 30 days, I saw the incidents with people burning up the area, which I might add, we aren't the one burning down these areas. If people really want to be educated on it, you need to see who's doing the arsonist acts. That's not us doing it. That's protesting, but we getting the credit for it. And it like I said, I'm numb because I understand why we protesting. I understand why we getting a little upset, but I still feel we can do a lot more.
Probably a lot. I think me, probably just like a lot of my peers, have probably went through every range of emotions, from anger to sorrow to, just so many things. I also think, sad to say, that I won't say I've become numb to the things that happen in America, because I think I never become numb to it because of what I do daily as an activist. I think my reaction is, more so than anything, is, we've had countless atrocities, on this country's watch, as far as black men, black women, black children are concerned. So this last 30 days has almost been partly refreshing to see other people notice firsthand what we've been crying at the top of our lungs for generations, not even just years, for generations. To see people finally start to get the message. I still think a lot of people on the other side don't necessarily understand what it is that we go through on a daily basis. But at the same time, it's almost disheartening in a way also, for the simple fact that, with Ahmaud, I go running, often. I have a fiance that goes walking the neighborhood, often for exercise. And to I remember after he was killed and we saw the video, how I just didn't even want to go running. It's like, that could have been me. That could have been one of my friends. That could have been my fiance. That could have been you. You're my friend. That could have been any of us. And for it to see these things over and over, it's a sense of stress in a lot of ways, because these things are almost, in certain ways, gratified in this country. Those images, we never see. How often do you see our white constituents dying on Facebook or dying in these videos? There's a reason that they're directed towards us. It's almost a message in itself. So that's why I say it's bittersweet, and I feel like all wars are, because I do feel like we're at war and we've been at war for a long time, but it still never gets easy to see these things over and over and over.
I'm mad. I'm no longer, I wasn't sad. And it's so crazy that I watched those killings and didn't cry. I was angry. Like, to the point where I wanted someone to shoot that cop that was on George Floyd. I wanted someone to put a bullet in his head while he had his knee on him. And it's so sad because I saw they talk about, like, the cops getting killed, and I should feel bad about that. I should feel bad that if a cop get killed, and it's like, I hate to say it, but you want to be like, that's what they get, and you shouldn't be that way. That's how I feel. That's how angry I am. I can't even look at white people the same. I don't even want to talk to them. I don't want them to say anything to me. I don't want to have a conversation with them no more. I get mad when they ask what they can do. That makes me mad. I'm also scared to talk to them because they may say something ignorant, because they act like they don't know. And so these last 30 days, I've been very, very mad. I'm trying to stay my best to stay away from white people and just stay with my people, because I know I'm gonna probably go off. I don't want to hear I don't even want them to talk to me about saying, I don't want them apologizing. I don't want them feeling like I'm a charity case, like I'm some, I don't want to say it, but some, how they show the African kids over there, send 2 cents. I feel like white people are looking at black people like that right now. And I don't want them to ever look at me as if I'm some type of charity, or I should have that. No, I don't want that. I don't even know what I want from them. You know what? I don't want nothing from them, matter of fact. So I could go on and on about this, but I'm frustrated. I'm mad because it's so obvious, and it's like nothing. It's almost like they're like nothing can be done. Like what the hell? Like, we in the 21st century. This is not slave days. This is not civil rights movement. Like, we see something, let's fix it. What is the deal? Like, I can't understand. I can't figure out. I don't understand what the conversation got to be. I don't understand what law. Just do it. Like, it's over with. Make the changes and make them fast. We don't need to have no more discussion.
So this time around, I did better with not watching any of the footage because I just didn't need the trauma. But I will say I was highly upset, and I will also say, in a way, they succeeded in desensitizing us. Before the pandemic, I think that a lot of us had become desensitized. I would have to say I officially lost my cool with Rayshard Brooks. Being based right here in Atlanta. Now, that's not to say that Breonna Taylor wasn't important. That's not to say that George Floyd wasn't important. But when it happened with Rayshard Brooks, one of the main reasons I was upset was because of, here we are again, the man was running, he was shot in his back. Okay. And I've always defended APD. That's another thing. I think I felt like a fool. I always defended APD, and I always say, oh man, APD cool as hell. They'll just let you go. I've been to jail before multiple times. I have a rough and tumble past. I've been let go before. Fulton County Jail, you could bond yourself out the next day. It's never been a problem. So I was one of those like, oh man, APD, they cool. And when they did that, I was like, wow. And so I just processed everything, and I'm like, they know cameras are on them now, and they still murdering us. So what's really?
When it comes to emotional freeness, I think that in America, we are expected to be strong, and I say strong with quotes, and because people have an ideal of what that looks like, and so I feel that, and that's one of the reasons I answered the way I answered before, because you have a lot of people saying, "Oh, if I was in that situation, I'll do this and that," and so, because there is this ideal of what strength looks like. Being able to live for another day, as far as I'm concerned, is strength. The police ask you all these questions, and doggone well that they don't have the right to ask those questions, but you respond and stay calm, and you live another day. You don't allow them to give them an excuse to murder you. As far as I'm concerned, that's strength. And so I think that we have failed for this idea of strength that is unhealthy, and as a result, we tend to replace our real feelings with this ideal of what strength is. And I think I think we should definitely look into identifying what feelings we are really feeling, and show those feelings, and learn how to show those feelings. And because I'm not scared to acknowledge that I'm fearful. When the cops get behind me and I start shaking and my blood pressure go up, my heart start beating fast, that's not anger, that's fear. And so I think we should identify that, because you can't really deal with a problem unless you name it. If
the con of being seen as these people that are so strong is you have to remain strong through everything. You can't show your emotions. If somebody dies in your family, you have to be this leader and show everybody, lead by example, but you can't not show that you aren't strong. Not only to other black people, because these other black kids are looking up to you, or these other black men are expecting you to, lead other black kids, But you don't want these white people, these racist white people, to see you fat. You don't want these white people to see you and be like, oh, he's weak, let's go get him. Because it doesn't allow you to express how you feel. It doesn't allow you to give you that range of emotions that everybody else has. One, because it's not really, I can't go, as a black man, I don't feel comfortable going to a black man, another black man, and telling him how I feel. It's more so of, this is what I have to go through, and I'm going to go through it on my own, and when I come out, I'm going to be strong. So it's not a thing of, even me and my friends were talking about it the other day, is we've known each other since 3rd grade, and we've never seen each other cry. We barely expressed anything that we go through to each other, but we love each other. But we said we probably never ever just go to each other and just be like, hey, I'm going through this, let's talk about it, until it's over. So it doesn't get it. We limit ourselves as black men to, oh, I gotta stay strong through this, or I gotta go through this. This is my problem. It's my thing to fix. Instead of being like, oh, these people care about me. Let me go share with them what I'm going through and see if they can help me.
I'll say in our culture, I can't speak for any other culture, but you know as well as I know what I'm about to say. In our culture, showing emotion, especially tears, is a form of weakness. And again, I don't get it, but I do get it. Because again, there's a fine line. I get it. You know, you don't want a man who's always crying, oh man, you burnt the chicken, or whatever, I mean, just whatever, something crazy, versus I worry about my son going out into this world. I worry about my nephew going out into this world and being harmed. I worry about my daughter going out into this world being harmed as a black man. And so, yeah, to me, honestly, when you see a black man crying, that's one thing that like touches my soul, because you don't see it. And typically we don't fake that. That's something that's genuine. And again, it's one of those things, you say too much, you're too emotional, you're too sensitive, toughen up. What does that look like? Like most of the time, emotion shows that you actually give a damn. Like you care about what's going on. And so if I don't show emotion, what's your perception going to be? I don't care.
It's tough for black men to be emotionally free. I feel that times have progressed. People are a little more understanding. I personally don't think that I personally am emotionally free publicly, but I also truly believe in mental health, right? So I'm one of those people that my emotional freedom oftentimes just come with me taking a trip and visiting my therapist, just to have that vulnerability, to be able to mentally, physically get out my frustrations or air the things that I feel I need to air without being judged.
I think that we can't afford to really show our emotion too much, because I can't speak on everybody, but I was taught to not show your emotion, like especially when times get hard for your family. You got to be the backbone, and you got to hold it down, especially for our black queens. So you kind of don't want to, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like you don't want to get caught up in like a Willie Lynch syndrome type of thing. You don't want to like look like you weak. Get it? What I'm saying? Because it's always seemed like they want to make us look weak. That's why they kill us the way they do. And it's set on our necks like that. That's because they can't do nothing else, so they got to do it with that badge and that them cuffs on and stuff like that. I hate to say it like that, but it's the truth. And it makes us be like, well, we want to cry, we want to be like, man, I'm tired, go crazy, like, you know what I'm saying? But then we be like, man, I can't. I got to hold down the fort, man, like a soldier. You know what I'm saying? But if you can't be the leader of your family, which is like the head, the captain of your team, and show all that emotion, then everybody feel hope.
I think in this country, from a very, very early age, we get learned into the ways of how you're supposed to act, how you're supposed to feel, how you're supposed to be, and already having the stigma of the angry black man and the angry black woman, you feel confined into even the emotion that you're allowed to feel. So I think it really, really puts into play another other methods of coping that may not be healthy or may not be the best ways, but it is kind of like I have a phrase saying that no matter what, Black people are always gonna show up to work the next day, because we've become so numb in ways to healing ourselves or finding ways to keep moving because we already have the card stacked against us.
No, I don't think we at a place. We have to. Black men right now have to control our emotions, and that's just how I feel. This is not a time for Black men to break down and be crying and sobbing. This is a time we at war. That's how I feel, and it ain't no time to cry and sob in war. And if you're gonna do it, go around the corner under your bed and turn the lights off. And it's cool to do it around people, but we must not let the world show our weakness right now. So Black men crying and doing no. And somebody may disagree, and that's fine. But I think it's wartime, and in wartime, there's no time for crying and being free in your emotions. It's time to control your emotions. It's time to have the poker face, especially when it comes to white people. You must not show your frustration in front of them.
Fear is real. I even now with the degrees I have from universities, it doesn't matter when I walk out of my building, so I still have concerns about safety.
I think if we expose who we really are mentally and how we feel a lot of times mentally, we're judged for it in any capacity, whether it be an actor, athlete. The situation with that is, if you crack up and have a Twitter rant, we can't afford to have those kind of things, because nowadays with everybody like, oh, I'm canceling you, right? The whole cancel thing, I don't agree with that, because I feel like what you're saying is people can't have a bad day, a bad moment. They can't mentally crack up. Like we're not allowed to go cuckoo and lose it every now and then. I would like to express myself and say, hey man, I got some issues, just like I just told you. See, me personally, I have no problem saying I have issues, so that's why I didn't want to watch the videos, because I take it there. I'm working on said issues. We all have them. The thing is, all of us won't admit it, but I would be judged if I said certain things on certain platforms. I would be judged if I lashed out and acted out. Instead of somebody checking on me and saying, hey, is this brother okay? It's more so, let's film him, make a fool of himself, and let's post it for likes and laughs, and no one's checking on you. But as soon as somebody commits suicide, it's, oh man, all you had to do, hey, reach out and touch somebody. All y'all got to do is call somebody. No, we're not afforded. No, it's like, it's unforgivable to really just lose your shit sometimes.
I feel that emotionally, a lot of men, especially Black men, they guard themselves.
Man, it's hard for a man to show his emotions, and when we do, I hate to say it, some people be like, "Why you crying like a punk?" See what I'm saying? And Tupac always said, "Thugs cry." We've been trying to tell y'all. In the world, we've been trying to tell you, we cry. We ain't emotionless like people. We ain't animals. Animals even cry. I done heard dogs weep all the time. You know what I'm saying?
People always, like, white people don't understand white privilege, because they don't not willing to listen and understand that it's not a thing of, oh, you're white, so you're privileged. It's your skin color gives you more opportunities than I do. But I'm not saying that you don't go through anything at all. I'm not saying that life is not hard for you, but you've never struggled because of your skin. Like, they don't understand that segregation in white people spitting and throwing rocks at Black folks was just 60 years ago. Like, they always want to say, why can't we say the N-word? Because slavery was 246 years of slavery was years ago. that doesn't apply. We can forget about slavery, and that's still years of racism. There's Jim Crow laws, sharecropping, people treating black people as test subjects. There's segregation. They even in schools, they teach you history as if it's such a big gap, and it's not. Like when you get taught about the Holocaust, they teach it as if it was just a couple years ago. But when you get taught about Martin Luther King, they treat it as if it was 100 years ago. Martin Luther King and Anne Frank were born in the same year. People don't understand that. That's what white people don't understand, is that these things have been happening for years and they're continuing to happen.
Yeah. I mean, how the fuck would you feel if anybody, but let alone a black man, put a knee in your kid's neck and murder him on live TV, basically? How would you feel? Would you be the exact same way you are now? I highly doubt it. You wouldn't care? You wouldn't want people in the community to have your back and fight for you as well? So it's cool. You know, I mean, these same people who are making these laws and don't want to change, I mean, send your kid to war. I mean, really, how would you feel?
And then it just bothers me that we gotta keep fighting, and we fight all the time, and it just, I don't know, it's hard.
If I were to, tell black, anything, just unite sometimes and just get together and talk. Unite sometimes and just, give each other space to be yourselves. To be vulnerable, to share strength. Like it's very vital for us to unite on more than just a physical level. We have to unite economically. We have to unite, educationally. Like it's just every aspect that you can think of. We have to unite and bring those talents that we unite with back home and start linking with black women and just rebuilding our communities.
If I could say anything to white people, and I've said it in my videos on social media, black people have built this country and you have benefited from it. It's called white privilege. Your resources, your generational wealth, your land has been passed down to you. All this stuff has came off the backs of my people. And so I would like to tell them, don't think when we come and request stuff that we're asking for handouts or we're treating this like a charity case. You actually owe us. And I need them to realize that you owe us. So when we come asking, don't act like we talking they always asking for something. No, you owe us this. Here's the sad thing about it. Yeah, white folks, y'all get more handouts than anyone. Way more handouts than black people. So when it comes to handouts, we're not asking for handouts. We want to collect the debt.